Motion carries. Okay, we are on the consent agenda now. There's a couple things that I wanted to bring up. One, for the minutes on July 6th, we need to, if the board so approves, we need to correct it to the board decided not to remove the verbiage on the resolution, not just me, because this is a board, we make decisions as a unit. Also, we need to add language to make it clear that the VA move to the courthouse was temporary until after the public health building is sold and the renovations and the elderly services building is complete. That is not clear in the minutes, so I want to make sure those things were corrected if the board so approves that.
Well, minutes really are only to reflect exact wording of motions and action taken. We really have to leave out any personal commentaries or editorial remarks, and I think everyone understands that you say it's going to be temporary. The clerk answers to the state law recording of what is in the minutes, and it should be only motion and action taken. The rest of it is, if I get up and say I have problems with a road, it should be that brief. I have a problem with Woodland Avenue. Very brief, no emotional use. So I would leave the minutes. I think they're fine.
Well, there's the reason why I want to add that is we want to make sure that that it reflects accurately, because right now it does not. It shows as if I'm making all the decisions, and it's a board decision, not a Stancil decision. Also, I want to make sure that because the elderly services building and the public health building and the DA move is very highly focused right now, I want to make sure the minutes reflect that it is the intent of the board for that move to be temporary to the courthouse. So not permanent, unless of course he changes his mind, he wants to say that he's perfectly okay with that, but I don't think he will. What are your thoughts on that, Jess?
Yeah, I think they need to be updated to be accurate.
Okay.
But I agree, Diane, they need to be just straight, what are the motions and what are the decisions? So I think they need to be updated to reflect that, and then we can put them on the next agenda to approve the revised version.
Okay. And to your point, Diane, for the meeting minutes on July 9th, that whole thing needs to be revised. There's misstatements, misattributions of statements, board votes misattributed or votes missing. So we need to make that correction. So the entire July 9th meetings need to be revised because there's lots of inaccuracies in there. But I agree with you, Diane. We don't want to editorialize. That's inappropriate. It should just be the actions taken. And then, what are your thoughts on that one? Should we pull those?
Yeah, we need to pull it till we get a revised, accurate version.
Diane, would you agree with that? Because there are some votes that are misattributed and yours were missing too. It wasn't just us.
Let me read the revised standard.
Well, we're going to read the revised.
And then I'll decide.
Yeah, we need to make sure that the minutes are sent before they're put in the packet. So the board has a chance to review them for accuracy, because I don't like having inaccurate minutes in our packet. The last one is the minutes for the 14th. Just one thing that was missing from here, I want to make sure that we have in there that it states that the board gave the direction to, gave the okay that I send additional questions to the state auditor regarding invoice. That's not on there. We need to make sure we put that on there. So, do you have an issue with that, Diane? Because it happened.
Like I said, I'll read it when it's revised.
So we'll pull that one too and have it revised.
And I listened to it too, so I'll do both.
Okay. So the minutes for the July 6th, July 9th, and July 14th are pulled from the consent agenda to have them be revised for accuracy. And then the last thing is, I noticed that there is a claim for $1,900 for the annual maintenance for JCI or Johnson Controls Annex maintenance agreement. We canceled that agreement and a letter was sent to them, so I would like to pull that claim and not pay it because that agreement was not authorized by the board, and we didn't even find out about it until recently. So I'd like to, with the board's approval, I'd like to not pay that claim, remove that claim from consideration. Is there an issue with that? Diane, you have an issue with that?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
You're gonna open yourself up to litigation, I wouldn't do it. You had a contract.
We had a contract signed by someone who was not authorized to do so.
Yeah, okay, I
So-
felt for it.
I don't wanna set the precedent, but that's okay.
Yeah, but I wanna pay the bill, cause they did the job, so we'll just put a lien on you, and they'll get the
Well,
money.
We'll leave that to the lawyers to figure it out. But in the meantime, I'd like to have that pulled and not pay it. And, until we get this resolved, we did receive a letter from the attorney, so. Okay, so, if we could amend the agenda to remove that claim for Johnson Controls for $1,900. The other claim on them was accurate, because I'm sure it's work that was done, it's just that, maintenance agreement. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended consent agenda, removing the 3 minutes from approval and removing the Johnson Controls claims.
So moved.
Do I have a second? I will second that. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the amended consent agenda, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. All right, we are now in the department head reports. Mike, is this your long one?
No,
Okay.
Good morning, my name is Mike Hackett, Madison County Secondary Roads Engineer. Got a quick report. First of all, it's nice that it's a little cooler today. It's been quite a hot spell over the last week or so. Action items I bring to the board today. A is a culvert that's completed, typical road closure for, B is the lane closure on Pitzer, that's been completed. C, got that up here, that's on, we got a bridge that had a failure last week. This is on Limestone Avenue, just south of 330th. If you'd scroll down, please, thank you. This picture may be a little misleading, but if you look in the center left, you can see kind of a dip along this guardrail. And if you go to the next down, we have a failure in one of the bearing members. It is wood, and it has seen the end of its life.
Is this a 3-ton or?
It's a 23 ton, now it's 0 tons. If you come down to the bottom, you can see that the wood is gone. So, you know, unfortunately, we've talked about infrastructure and bridges, and, you know, this county isn't any different than the rest of the state of Iowa. I mean, the counties, a lot of our infrastructure is aging and old and reaching the end of its life cycle. Seems like we have one of these every year. This one here, I'm optimistic that I'm hoping in October, that's when I have it scheduled, is to go out and try to do a repair. If you would go up one picture, that's known as cribbing. It's an older technique on bearings on this type of structure. The wood has failed, and you know, wood's kind of a unique, interesting product. It will handle stress over a period of time. It gets fatigued like anything else. It also is into the environment with age, and it just decided to fail. And I think we can come in here and drive some supplemental pile, a supplemental pier cap, and some jack it back up and replace the cribbing and buy some time. This project needs to be, this bridge needs to be replaced. It's just, we have so many of them to get done, and if we can't get that done, then we're looking at a long-term closure and getting it on a list to get it replaced. So unfortunately, it seems like I bring one of these to you every year, but the good news is we are making strides forward in some of the other replacements.
Can you change the tonnage from 23 to less?
Yes, what we'll do once we do the repair, we'll do an analysis to see if it should be less, and it probably will be less because it's a repair.
This just didn't crash in, did
No,
somebody
no.
went too heavy over it?
You know,
Speculation.
yeah, you know, it's part of our system. Yep. I would say that, you know, a lot of heavy loads over time, it ends up that. It's just what it is. So anyway, I hope to get that one back, at least in open, so it's crossing. I've spoke with a couple of the local landowners. I know it is a burden for them to go around. The next one, D, they're working on now. That's Settlers Avenue. It's a culvert. E is just internal housekeeping. It's to document what Secretary of Roads has for critical infrastructure monitoring, certain things with our roads and facilities. And then the most exciting two items that I bring today, and I know you're thinking, why is that exciting? These two projects actually originated 5 years ago, and this is what it takes to get to this point. So one of them is, I talked about it several times here, brought lots of paperwork, documents. In fact, last meeting it was brought up, I think, about again. But the one is, it's Bevington Y Park Bridge. They were let last week, along with the, what we call the overflow bridge, but there's another bridge south of there.
Is that the one closest to the highway?
One closest to the highway.
That's the one you're gonna replace?
That's gonna get replaced, and the one south of there is gonna get replaced, both in the same letting. The first one, the engineer's estimate, I wouldn't have won the bid, let's put it that way. We had really good prices. It was, the engineer's estimate was $2,171,192, and the low bid, which we're going to have a resolution to approve the contract, is $1,756,541.39, and that went to Herbert Construction of Indianola, Iowa. The other bridge south of there, that's going to be replaced with box culvert. The engineer's estimate was $1,465,924.50, and the low bid was $1,050,911.33, and that went to Gus Construction of Casey, Iowa. Both contractors we've worked before here in the county. I think it'll be a nice, smooth project.
Are you gonna do them both at the same time then?
It'd be ideal. It's set up to do that. I hope that's the way it goes. In order to get good prices, the projects were not tied together, but they were led at the same time. And I would hope that both contractors, once we get our paperwork done and signed contracts, have pre-construction meetings, we can, you know,
So
hope for
you're
the best.
removing the bridge and you're putting a cement box culvert
Yes.
on? So are the boxes on both sides?
The box culvert will come through. There won't be any guardrail. It'll be a wider road, a little better long-term. Now this one here, the Y Park, that's on Middle River. That's a lot bigger drainage area and requires a bridge. That's it on that. Another thing, update on Rustic Avenue. Again, I showed a picture last week of the deck. They're doing the approach grading now. That seems to be going along. We just talked about the past letting with the Y Park and Bevington Road projects. Have not heard yet on Hollowell Grant. That still kind of went crickets on us. We'll see what happens there.
Do you just ask for an update, or you just have to kind of wait?
I gotta wait. Yeah. Keep our fingers crossed. In the office and administrative things, we talked a little bit about speed limit changes. We're working on that. I've actually ordered what they call a ball bank meter. Imagine we get those on loan through iTrans here. It's hopefully gonna be here next week.
What is that?
What is a ball bank meter? It lets us drive the roads and drive through the curves, and gives us an indication of the proper speed that should be assigned for it. So, yeah, so that's part of that speed limit change and making proper investigations on the curves and the highways that we have now. And that's gonna take a while, but once we get that done, it'll be documented. I'll bring you a report on that. Bridge design, overlay projects. Currently, as far as even in-house and maintenance activities, we're on the second round of dust control. There's 269 locations, not counting Camel Park's detour and what Hinterland has over the weekend here. Maintenance activities, we don't have it as a resolution because we just closed it yesterday. Badger Creek, we're starting a reshaping project there, from the entrance to the 120th, I believe. That will probably be in the next 30 days, working on that.
Does DNR help, because they control that part?
This is on our road now.
It's on ours.
Yeah, yep, it's on. General maintenance, sign replacement, those type of things are what's going on in the road department. Pavements get worn and buckle. That's another thing that's kind of been added to the list. Get those addressed as we can. I don't have anything else. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
I do. Can individuals purchase culverts from the county?
Okay. Good question. The answer is yes and no. All materials, and because it's road use tax, has to be used within the road right of way. Now, several years ago, we would stock culvert pipes for field entrances, and the residents or owners could buy that material through our department and do that. The problem we've run into is we have $150,000 worth of stock that's sitting there every year and it's tied up. So we stopped doing that. So, however, if there is since our current policy on driveways, if it's a culvert that needs to be replaced, let's say it's rusted out or it's that type of stuff, it's up to us to do the repair. If the landowner is, let's say, widening the driveway, let's say it's an 18, they want to go to a 30, and the existing culvert is plugged, we will work with the landowner to provide the total length of the pipe, because they're going to do part of the work for us, for them together. So that's about the only time they would purchase a culvert through us.
I wondered this one could be city limits. So,
Is it on Walnut Trail?
no, it's on going out across. That's where they're routing all the hinterland, but it's crossing St. Charles, go north across.
Yeah, I don't know, I can look into it, Diana.
I was just, he asked me, so I thought I'd ask. Okay.
I did have a person inquire about a culvert actually yesterday. It was in a city limits and not in ours. Again, we can't. We have to keep our road use tax within.
I think it's
Madison
definitely
County.
the road. Yeah, okay, all right, we'll have to talk about it.
Okay, all right, anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Will excessive heat cause you and your team any extra work, any extra problems with the roads?
Sir, if you wouldn't mind, if you can talk to him after the meeting,
Oh, okay.
okay, that would be great.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
would be best. I can meet with you in the hallway and
Okay.
answer that. All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Yep,
Mike.
you bet.
Thank you.
Michele?
Also send this to us.
You're welcome. Michele Brant, Madison County Auditor. Policy requests seem to be the thing most prevalent on my desk today. I have addressing the parameters of the new amendments with solutions. There's no update. I've not started on that yet. Contract labor policy. Presently, there is not a policy in place. And so Kylee and I have been working together. We've drafted a sample contract and a policy. It's included in today's report. And that's to address the need for temporary help, which obviously is not clear in our county. Then also another item that we're working on, there's been a lot of talk about records retention. And so we have now obtained some direction from ISAC, and that we are going to, because some of it's just in draft form, we thought we would approach some elected officials and departments and show them what they've got drafted and see if that's something they're interested in. Election wrap-up is September 8th, 2026. There is now a special election for Public Measure A. It's in the Van Meter School District. The dates to note that's important are August 5th will be public testing. August 19th, it will be start of absentee voting. However, because it's such a small population, under 400 up in the Van Meter area, we are not the control county. We will just be conducting absentee voting in our office.
So Dallas is the control?
Dallas is the control county. The canvass for this will be on September 15th. And then as far as Michele and I go within the next several weeks, we should have all the elections materials ready for the general. So there's been some changes to some language with the oath and some other items that we needed to completely revamp all those forms. With regard to the forensic audit and the fiscal year 25, my responses are done with the exception of the 3 that I was missing. 2 were in my inbox, and then I've reached out to the treasurer to see how she's doing with those. I'm gonna have it wrapped up by this week's end. I think it's a lot of redundancy, so it'll be just a copy and paste, but I wanna make sure that it's cohesive and it's well written. So you've got some really kind of blurbs out there on my sheets. I know you're going to talk about that later. I just
Can I
want,
ask you a quick question?
of course.
Are you gonna do it by vendor, or are you just gonna do like an aggregate of all the questions, so it addresses each, if there's redundancy, addresses each one?
Correct, and so that, right now, it's done by vendor. I have 6 different auditor reports, responses individually. I'd almost like to just draft a single report incorporating your responses, the treasurer's responses, and mine. And I, again, would work to get that done as quickly as possible. I'm not sure that I'll have it done, in the next 2 days, but, my goal will be at the end of the weekend. Cause I'll probably just put that on the weekend's work.
So, regarding, there were several questions on there that, probably required board response. You and I talked about this earlier.
We did.
And, but I was kind of hoping that we would have yours and Kylie's responses, because then we can kind of lean on you saying, hey, this is probably a board direction on this particular question. We can give our opinion, but here, we need the board kind of buy-in on this before we publish it. So, there weren't a lot of those, but there were a few on each one that had, I think, that would be board. But I kind of wanted to wait for your guys' response too, because you might have some insight on that.
And you're basing that on, just county policy, or, I don't look at the board by, weighing in on accounting measures and gap and treasurer receiving. I was guessing you would respond to the things that the, state identified as needing policy.
Right, well, I wanted to make sure the board had feedback on that.
Great, absolutely.
But like, for instance, just I'm just going by memory here, there was a vendor that asked, would we be willing to extend out the time frame for the forensic audit? Because the goal was to have it done by the end of the year. We're kind of pushing, we might even have to extend out RFP responses. I'm not sure about that yet, but that's just a question that would be a board decision. Are we willing to extend it out? So that's just an example of something to where.
And I actually, on my responses, said, I have no, here's what we would like, but again, not my decision.
Okay, so that's just an example. There weren't a lot of those, because most of them fall in your bucket or in Kylie's bucket. But there are some where we would have to weigh in on.
Well, and I think probably a more candid conversation would be to talk about the scope. Because a lot of these companies want to come in and they want to market services to us down the road, tell us how to do our job. I don't think that's a fair marketing because of what brought us here today. You said, so that's where my answers may be very blunt about that. and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm just saying, we've had some fall downs for that. And I don't, so that's the whole point, is I don't want them to think they can, I'm not looking for mentorship, I'm not looking for,
No, and I
we
think
need somebody to come in and bring everything up to point.
we
That's
want
what I
it
look at.
fixed. We don't wanna buy.
I don't wanna, well,
Yes.
we'll come in for additional monies, et cetera, so I was looking at those RFPs very critically their questions critically in that way.
Okay, yeah, I think, unless I'm speaking out of turn, I think that is the board desires. We don't wanna be marketed to, we want things fixed, things cleaned up, so future audits are clean. And deal with the higher level stuff that's causing all the problems.
Are you, also, sold on the idea of we will do a one answer to everyone, or individual response to folks' questions?
So in,
Cause I'm torn on that.
yeah, in the past, at least with the RFPs that I've been a part of, they gather all the questions and then they post them publicly as an amendment, and all the questions go out, and then we send the same answers to all the vendors that sent the questions, and then we publicly post those questions for any vendors out there that are considering, but they didn't send us questions. So we still have to publicly disclose those as part of the process. So what I was planning on doing is putting that on the public pages, our website, and the public pages where we posted the RFP. And then, send it out to the other vendors so they're aware it's out there. Cause there's a lot of folks that haven't responded, so.
They did not respond.
But there were a few that already emailed and said we're not interested in it. So, but yes, we definitely wanna make sure these vendors get their answers, so, but
So
yeah.
that's my answer, is
Okay.
perhaps you could get direction from the board to be their, designee. So I'm not available next week for a meeting.
Okay, but are you available for a one-on-one with you, me and Kylee, or Jess, unless you wanna do it? To do a one-on-one with your schedules, okay.
And it can be open for anyone who wants to come, but again,
Okay, we'll talk about that later on the agenda,
Correct.
but yeah, thank
so
you.
that's my report.
I do have one more question regarding labor contracts. Are we gonna go back and look and make sure if we have any contract labor that they're
I'm not.
compliant?
I'm not,
Okay.
I don't know, Brian, are you?
Okay, cause I wanna make sure we are, cause I don't wanna risk having it come up as a finding in a future audit.
Well, I'll probably do a note and a document to that effect, it may be a finding, but I'm not gonna go back and saw sawdust. I heard your point, you've talked to the employment attorney, and this is almost verbatim from them.
Okay, all right, thank you. Did someone have any questions?
Very welcome.
Yeah. One more point of clarification, did you receive any guidance, recommendation, direction to change passwords on the camera systems from any entities?
That's protected information, and you guys have already talked to who you need to talk to, so. I'm not gonna talk about this in a public meeting, it's protected under chapter, 2250. Sorry,
Well,
So can we get an email with some clarification?
I think you've already talked to the Secretary of State, which I'm confused
I
about
have
that.
not spoken with the Secretary of
I
State,
believe
I am
Supervisor
still trying
Stancil
to.
has,
Okay.
Supervisor Stancil has.
I've reached out to them, yes.
And so my point is, I've said all I'm gonna say about it. It has to do with me as the Commissioner of Elections and Custodian of the courthouse.
Well, I don't wanna speak for you, Jess, but I'm just gonna share what's been asked of me from members of the public. There is things being shared online,
Not by me.
but they're getting information from somewhere with
And-
specific dates and specific entities. And I'd like to clarify that because that's causing a lot of issues out there.
Again, I'm telling you that I have shared with no one with regard to who I'm supposed to share with per, resolution CA 610-25A. Okay, that was what was in place when this all came down. And you'll
That's
have to
for-
like my answer, but that is my answer. And the other concern is I'm confused. At a meeting you shared, Supervisor Stones, you said, you're not comfortable investigating this, so you wanted to pay your board attorney to get a letter to the AG, and yet we're still investigating, we're still talking about it.
We have members of the public asking us questions.
Then they can come to me.
And they are coming to you and they're not giving answers, so they're coming to us.
Again, I'm not saying anything more about it.
Well, they're coming to me. I don't know if they're coming to you, but they're coming to
Can
me.
you confirm, is there any election equipment in this building?
I don't believe there is.
Okay, so this camera system wouldn't apply to the election guidance?
Again, not having a conversation with you about this.
Okay.
Sorry to be negative, but I spoke once.
All right. All right, the next, person on the agenda for department head reports is Chip. Is he here? Yes, there you are.
Morning, everybody. Chip C, Building and Grounds. This is just to catch up a little bit. What's been going on around the county. On some old business, training with Travis from Summit has been completed on the security north door here. Moving forward with any night meetings or that, it's a pretty simple process of setting it up, and if I have any future problems, Travis is more than willing to walk me through these steps, but, as far as the training with Travis, it has been completed. Some old news that I didn't report last month, but, the Jim Nelson commemorative bench, the Master Gardens had a dedication ceremony, which drew great public participation. So I'd like to thank Bill Chrisman and our Master Gardeners for, not only commemorating this bench to a great member of the public, but a beautification of our courthouse and other buildings. The roofing project at the Elderly Meal site has some concerns over the delay with the contract. I'm still being contacted by Dylan on where we are with that.
Dylan has an updated amendment. He asked that we specify the specifics of the Iowa code actually in the amendment, so he didn't have to go look it up, so that has been provided to him.
So I just waiting from the board to set up scheduling, or are we?
We're waiting on a signature from Dylan on the amendment,
Okay,
and then I'll
And
get
then we
it,
did,
then
the
I'll
copy
get it
to you, so I can
Yep.
sign it.
okay, thank you.
And if he could send that as DocuSign, so we get it done quickly, and then make sure we get an executed copy to Sarah for you to keep as records.
Public health building access, no one's reached out to me regarding pictures with.
What do you mean
currently.
pictures?
They need to take pictures of the building for them to put it to auction, so.
Outside or inside or both?
I've just been looped into the email to give them access, and no one's reached out to me yet.
Oh, I've never seen an email, but, just take them out there and have them take
No, they
pictures.
haven't contacted
They
me
haven't
yet.
contacted.
So I told them, I followed up with them, and they were supposed to contact you, Chip, so I will follow up with them
Okay,
again.
thank you very much. Some new business, I'm working with Excel Mechanical currently to get scheduled to, cut into the flooring in the basement of the courthouse. We've basically roughly located the condensation line eternally, but we're gonna be in the cooling season before long, so I'd like to get that done. And, along with our internal boiler inspection.
Is that where that little patch that was dug up, is that the?
That was the finding, but there's gonna be more flooring cut, so I'll keep everybody in a loop because it will be open and I'll get it taped off or signed off. But, that's our rough cost of $14,500
Where's that at, Chip?
in the basement. Where the cones are currently set, where we done exploratory to find the leak.
You budgeted for that. It's in the budget.
It's in the budget. Again, on the 8th, the hospital staff, they had another successful wellness walk. I know they greatly appreciate getting to use the courthouse grounds and our sound system to do that. I believe we have 2 more over the next 2 months for them, but I know that's greatly appreciated. Here at the annex building, the roof condenser and air handlers been completed. There's been no issues. I believe everybody's quite comfortable throughout the building since that was our biggest provider of cooling. And last Tuesday, the 21st, Market Professionals installed our new office lettering on the entrance doors upstairs. So I want to thank
So it looks
Market
official.
has like G, yeah, it's official and it looks very nice. And I'd like to thank Market Professionals for, and that was at a cost of $223.48. And I know we did it, had a couple down, didn't want to do it 5 or 6 years ago, it was double that cost. So paid staying local and
Right,
somebody
that
else
was-
will do it for us.
I always use team.
If you would, the Board of Health, I think they're having a meeting sometime in August, either the second or third week, I can't remember which week it is. If you would reach out to them and let them know about what the doors are, so you can program their meeting, because they usually meet here.
Would you email me the contact who to reach out to and I'll
Yep.
get that started? That's my short summary. Is there any questions from the board?
Thank you.
All right, we are now in, the time for the public hearing for the Morriswood subdivision. I'll entertain,
Marquardt. Oh, sorry, I'm out of order.
Okay.
I apologize.
I'll entertain a motion to enter into the public hearing for Morriswood subdivision at 10:09 a.m.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. Okay, we are in the public hearing for the Morrison Woods subdivision. Ryan.
Good morning, Ryan Hobart, Madison County Zoning Administrator. Got before you a 1-lot subdivision. That is currently owned by Michael and Julie Morrison. They are also the applicant for this subdivision request. It is 1 lot. They're splitting off 3.0 acres, or 3.01 acres. Requested action from them is Board of Supervisor approval. This is located in section 13 of Penn Township. Existing zoning is agricultural. Future land use plan shows primary agriculture. It is understanding of staff that lot 1 of the proposed subdivision will be transferred to Nicholas and Michele Morrison. Nicholas is the son of Michael and Julie Morrison, for them to then construct a single-family dwelling upon. Current legal use, the property that is being divided contains 3 older steel grain bins, a 50 by 100 metal pull building that was constructed in 1996 that added on to in 2020, and then a new 40 by 64 metal pull building was permitted, and this one will sit on the proposed lot, and it was permitted as number 2025-140 through my office. By a brief search of the documents recorded within the recorder's office, a warranty deed was recorded on April 22nd, 1994, transferring approximately 64 acres, of which includes the tract being proposed for division to Michael and Julie Morrison, and from Donna Smith, in the amount of $81,000. A warranty deed was recorded then July 15th of 99, transferring parcel D, which was a 3-acre tract with their original home on it, for this piece of property from Michael and Julie to Greg and Andrea Koloff, in the amount of $88,000. After the sale of parcel D, Michael and Julie built their current home, which is more centrally located on this tract, the remaining tract of the land. No portion of this tract lies within the 100-year flood zone defined by FEMA. Staff has determined the CSR2 of this tract to be 34.9 or 19, The subdivision plat request is within 2 miles of the city of Earlham and therefore is subject to extraterritorial review. The city of Earlham has provided a letter within the accompanying documents stating that the city council approved to waive the review of Morrison Woods on November 10th of 25. Lot 1 of Morrison Woods does have an approved driveway entrance location that was reviewed and approved by the Madison County Engineer, permit number 02006. So all required accompanying documents have been submitted pursuant to the Madison County Subdivision Regulations for final plat approval. Any improvements to the site and all activities occurring on the site must meet rules and regulations of all state, local, and federal agencies, and applicable permits must be obtained. Listed within the compatible uses for the primary agricultural land use district in the current comp plan is single acreage developments. While single acreage developments are not specifically defined in our comp plan, staff would assume that what is being proposed would fall under that definition based on basic terminology and understanding. Therefore, it is staff's opinion that this request aligns with the Madison County Comprehensive Plan, Madison County Zoning Ordinance, and the Madison County Subdivision Regulations, and staff's recommend the Board of Supervisors approve the final plat of Morrison Woods.
Is this it's not in city limits?
No.
So they are going to probably split this off into more 3-acre plots, or is it gonna remain, it's gonna remain farm ground?
It's more
Ag.
like a timber tract,
It's a timber tract.
but they're separating off one
Right.
specific lot.
So their son can build a house?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, great.
So I'm assuming this has been published as required.
It has.
Has there been any written comment?
I have not received any, other than I got an email from Mike Hackett saying that this driveway has been reviewed and approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, we are in the time now of the public hearing, so the public can make comments on this zoning. If you wish to make a comment, please come up and state your name and where you're from. You have up to 10 minutes to speak. And then once we have folks here, then we'll go to the phone.
This is only concerning this
This
topic.
public hearing, yes. Morrison Woods subdivision. Anyone wish to comment? All right, anyone on the phone wish to comment, hit *6 to unmute your phone and state your name and where you're from, and you have 10 minutes to comment on the public hearing for Morrison Woods subdivision. All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing for Morrison Woods subdivision.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. All in, any discussion? All in favor of closing public hearing for Morrison Woods subdivision, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We are out of the public hearing at 10:16 a.m. All right, the next one on the agenda is presentation from our Madison County Development Group. Update from Ryan.
This thing never reaches me,
We need to get an extender.
it's fine.
Just
It's all
hold
good.
it, Ryan. Look out.
Yeah, we'll just go straight up.
Break out into song.
There you go,
Yeah.
like a singer.
Nobody would be pleased with that. Ryan Marquardt, Madison County Development Group. So in June, we did adopt our strategic plan, and I don't remember if I've given you a copy of that or not, so I brought some today. Along with these, which I should use.
Thanks, Ryan. I like this, Ryan.
Thank you.
Would you send a soft copy to the auditor too, please?
Yeah.
Can do.
Thank you.
We'll send you that song.
Thank you.
I don't think you want the hard copy anyway. So with that strategic plan adoption, we are incorporating that into our meeting agendas and our website draft update, and, you know, we're trying to put that plan forward as we kind of continue our work. We had to make some adjustments here in the last month to our executive committee, and we've had a health issue come up with one of our incoming, you know, one of our board members, so we've had to make some internal adjustments there. In the Winterset, we are working with a new commercial business to the area, and so we've been assisting them with their site plans and their utility hookups, and so that is proceeding. Hopefully we'll see that, hopefully we'll see that continue to move forward. They haven't finalized any acquisitions, so that's still all in the planning phase. We continue to monitor a redevelopment project for a parcel in town where there's an existing building that's dilapidated, and so we're trying to figure out a workable path forward on the funding stack for that project. Project's morphed a few times. It was one that I like a little better than where it's currently at, but you know, it is improving a parcel that is in poor condition, so that is a win in the long run, even if it's not as good as our original draft version. In Earlham, we've got half the town done for its infill housing inventory, like we did in Winterset, so we just need to finish that up. We are working on a potential RLF loan there, so that would be our first loan in Earlham that we've done with the revolving loan fund, and that'll support a local business expansion and a couple new job hires to go with that. On the Greater Madison County Community Foundation side of things, we are working with the city of Earlham to develop a Earlham Community Fund to support local community projects like the splash pad, potentially the firehouse, and in the future, and then also another one that's on the radar would be park bathroom upgrades and power upgrades there, so you can use food trucks more easily. So those are some options that we're working on, so we're trying to get that set up so that we can get kind of push that thing out there and get that fully operational. In both communities, Earlham and Winterset, we are we're in discussions here with ISU, Iowa State University Extension, to do housing readiness assessments, and that forms a housing committee that looks at the community and determines their priorities for housing. There's a grant from IEDA, so Iowa Economic Development Authority, that will pay for 2/3 of that process. So we're looking at that as a potential option for both communities. I think for sure the Winterset one will go forward, we're still trying to determine if we're gonna go forward on the Earlham one at this point. Then we are working with the chamber on an AARP designation, which would apply to the county and potentially Winterset and Earlham as well. Probably would be a resolution at some point, friendly policies for retirees, et cetera. So, but it does open us up to some grants.
Development or?
It's development, but it's also mostly just aggregate policies around it. But what it does is it opens up some grant opportunities with AARP. So, on the planning and zoning side of things, we are continuing to work on the solar ordinances. We have made a considerable progress on the drafts of those documents, and subdivision is also in the draft phase, and we're kind of just waiting on some more review. We have met with the contractor, and so we have had a firm conversation with them about what our expectations are going forward and where we think we can still utilize them to do final review of things, as opposed to maybe more of the drafting work. So, so I think we have probably some contract amendment, but probably not probably out of Ryan's office, Hobart's office, so look at that all together. And then on the covered bridge preservation side of things, that fundraising committee has been formed, they've met, we're trying to figure out the website, Facebook, and press cycle and signage to go around with their fundraising efforts and their community foundation fund. I think if they can raise between $50,000 to $100,000, that would really help Mike, who's going for those grants, Hackett, going for those grants, because that just gives him a little more flexibility in terms of how much matching he would have to come up with. Just opens up more grant options. So that's what I have for you right now. Let me know if you have any questions.
I don't know if you've heard, but, Earlham's pizza beignets are closing.
I did hear about that just
So if
yesterday.
you guys want beignets.
Have till Sunday.
You have until Sunday to go get them.
They will still have the food truck,
Yes.
so yeah, there will be at special events, but I think probably, we see that in a lot of commercial entities right now, just the overhead costs of running a commercial business right now are really high. And it's just been a
Have
lot
you
of-
reached out to them at all?
I have not talked with them yet, so we'll probably try to put in a chat here, just to figure out if there's anything that we, I don't, usually if that decision has been made, there's no real change in that decision.
I mean, forward thinking, so we
Sure.
can
Yeah.
prevent it from future businesses.
Ideally, you know, and that may be, there may be internal things there that we can't help with, decisions made in the past that, yeah, we can't.
All of us are very, very sad.
Yeah, I am deeply disappointed because that was a nice asset to the community. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Of course.
All right, we are now in the time for public comment. We're gonna go ahead and do the folks in the room first, and then we'll go to the phone. So those on the phone, please be patient. If you are here and you wish to do a public comment, please come up to the podium, state your name and where you're from, and you have 3 minutes.
I'm Jayci Kuhns, resident of Winterset, Iowa. I am here on behalf of the opioid funds with Turning Point. I just wanted to continue to give our thanks for your support. Last time I was here, we were analyzing the data and that has come back and you should have received, I think it's over an 80-page report on those analytics. I wanted to just overview a couple of them. All of our knowledge questions improved, which was wonderful. I don't think we were very surprised by most of the data, but students know not to touch, take, or taste. But moreover, students learned about stop, think, choose, and all of those improved. And even more than that, students perceive that they have a trusted adult who can support their healthy choices. All of that data improved. And we had upwards of a 20% increase in students' belief that they had access to school and community resources. So as someone that's near and dear to, that was one of my favorite statistics that improved. That's kind of an overview of some of the great things that we saw from the programming. As you know, last year we had 6 times the amount of funding dollars as we're going to start with this year. So we have had to get really creative on how we're gonna scale this down, what it will look like. We're still ambitious to partner with every district at the capacity that we can. Instead of going into all districts at once, we'd like to go one at a time and just continue the work as we can, and the money, hopefully, if it continues to come, we can continue to scale that back up. But we're also really excited about a lot of county and community outreach connections. So we're gonna be partnering with a lot of county organizations, both nonprofit and for-profit, to create mini programs of our Stop, Think, Choose and through the HOPE curriculum into some of these locations. And so we're also looking for partners in that. If you have a heart for serving kids and helping lower, opioid use in our county and state, as well as just encouraging kids in their communication skills, their resiliency skills, their community connection. We do, the program is a 6-week program and meets kids and teaches them a little bit about some of these skills. So we're excited to continue, and we thank you for that, and I just kind of wanted to bring a little update, so. Thanks,
Are you gonna be around for when we get to that resolution?
I can stick around.
Okay, because I have some questions for you.
Okay,
So-
sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Could you ask him, so
I just
You
don't want
need
to take
to
up
leave,
public
Jayci?
comment, unless you have to leave. Do you have to leave?
Well, I have a little here, so she's just
Oh,
waiting with
sorry, I
me.
didn't
That's
see it.
okay. I would like to, stick around
If the
I
board's
can,
okay if I ask some
ask,
questions.
yes, do.
Have you reached out to the state?
Oh,
but
we
yes,
do.
we've applied twice for
Okay.
state funds. And we've also been working with other community, like we've been going to the Women's Giving Circle. I've been in contact with Chicks with Checks. We have had a couple of nonprofit organizations that have donated, so we are definitely looking for funds in other ways.
Have you reached out to other counties? Because I know other counties are having trouble finding places to put their funds.
I didn't know that that was an option to take
can
the
do
funds
that.
of other counties.
They can
I'll have to
delegate.
look into that. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check into that for sure.
So I know of at least 3, they're like, we have no idea what to do with it.
Okay,
So they're actually giving it to other counties because they can't spend it, so I'd
Do you
like to
know
have it
those
come here.
counties? You can
I'd have to
share.
look at my notes.
Yeah,
I'm not
if
excited,
you're
but
okay with
I
that.
would just send an email to all of them
okay.
and ask.
Would you be comfortable if I send you a follow-up email after this and just kind of, see if if you know where they're at and what that looks like, because we, didn't know that was an opportunity.
Yes, that you are allowed to, under Exhibit E, to do that.
Okay.
So,
Are the schools kicking in at all, or they just can't afford it?
We have not had any funding from the schools.
would you mind, I know you said you received and filed, would you mind emailing the whole board your report?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And then I've made a note to dig through my emails to see who I talked to.
Okay,
But seriously,
absolutely,
it
yeah.
would be current, so they may have gotten rid of their money by now, but every county has the ability to do that. So
Okay, okay.
we have 98 counties you can contact.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Hi. Okay, so, cameras, this is from our 28E agreement with the DOT. The county shall establish, provide, and maintain reasonable administrative, technical, and physical safeguards to protect the security of the county's facilities dedicated to performance of the county's issuance program and to protect the security, confidentiality, and integrity of the issuance equipment, hardware, software, systems, data, or network lines and materials housed and stored or accessed in or at the county's facilities. And then there's more. So I just heard on the public, when you were talking to Michele, sorry, this is public comment. When you were talking to Michele, you guys were asking her questions about, saying something about something was put on Facebook about specific information that was leaked out. And then Jess, you said something about, election equipment at the annex building, and then something else, I don't know. Here's my thing, how am I supposed to protect my office if things are being leaked out on Facebook? You guys, I'm supposed to protect this, but yet, I'm asked to take my camera down, I took my camera down, then things are being put out on Facebook, but yet, the only two people that are supposed to be seeing the cameras are the county attorney and our sheriff. So what's going on, because obviously that's not happening, so we're gonna lose our contract. So whatever is going on, who's ever posting whatever, knock it off. I'm gonna have employees out of jobs. Because that contract pays for every single one of us. Every single one of us.
I don't think anyone's, at least, I'm not gonna speak for
I don't
anyone
know,
else.
I'm just tired of this.
I don't
I'm
think
tired
anyone-
of it.
I don't think anyone has shared the actual specific information, like where
I don't know what
the
it
cameras
is,
are.
but here's the thing
and
is that I hear
servers.
something different every single day, every day.
We
And
have-
yet I'm trusted to secure that upstairs with every single person's identity. Yours.
I don't know who's. doing
All of everybody's in Madison counties and more. It's not funny. It's not.
It's being leaked on Facebook.
That's what was just said.
I don't Facebook, so
I don't
ever
either.
read
I
it, ever.
do Facebook, but I don't put that kind of
No.
stuff out there.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this. You know what? The camera, I'm gonna put it right back out here in 2 seconds. I'm gonna go home and grab it. And you can FOIA request me all you want, Nick Scar. Go ahead,
Don't
come
put
on
one
in.
on me.
Hey,
Point of order.
You can't point of order, I just looked that up.
Kylie,
that's fine.
3
Nick
minutes.
Scar can FOIA request me all you'd like.
She
Because
said
I'm
3
trying
minutes.
to protect my office.
Kylie, I appreciate your
And I'm getting
passion.
sick and tired of this dramaticness and all of this that's going on in this county. I'm just trying to do my job.
So I'd like to offer you some more time, Kylie, because and as we've just discussed before, you're more than free to be added to the agenda to give a department head report, so you're not limited to just 3 minutes in public
I'm
comment.
fine. I literally just heard that after Michele, as you guys were grilling Michele on this. So I don't have department head things. Most of the time, you guys always have these come out on Thursdays or whenever, and I don't have anything until she's sitting here and someone's talking and someone has some questions, and then it's like, oh, well, I should probably get down there and defend myself, or defend my department, or something like that.
So I don't think anyone was, at least I didn't take.
I know you're
anyone as
not, I
implying-
know no one is attacking my office, but I'm trying to stand up and say there's something wrong. I'm tired of this.
Well,
I have to, like,
So, point of clarification, the last meeting that we discussed this, you were going to review the system, the cameras that are currently in place, and see if they covered the areas that you needed covered. Have you identified if the existing cameras can cover what you need covered or not?
yes, I talked to, yes.
And
So
you sent an
you-
email to us.
Yeah.
yeah, you've been playing phone tag and they're gonna have something for you, I'm assuming.
Right. But I mean, in all reality, until we decide on who the camera people are gonna be, they're the ones that I'm gonna need to talk to about it. So it's not,
We're gonna have to do change orders with whoever we do, but.
Yeah.
we'll
right,
coordinate
cause that's what she told me that
But
we're
this
gonna have to
existing
do.
system here isn't going to be changed out anytime soon,
Right.
so.
Just some cameras will be moved.
Yeah, so we can certainly accommodate that.
And you are dictated by the DOT.
Right, yes, but I can't even protect my office. I don't even know if people are in my office right now.
So is the camera system not working for your office?
No, but what I'm saying is I don't have access to that system, but yet I'm being told that things are being put out on Facebook.
I think what is being put on Facebook is not the actual camera information. What I've seen on Facebook and what's been shared with me and the questions I've received is speculation of who found out, who requested the password change. Was it really Secretary of State's office? Was it the Iowa Association? It is not about the actual detail of the network that is truly
But I don't
confidential.
know that.
I'm-
But that's what I'm
I'm
saying. I
sharing
don't
with
know
you,
that.
I have not seen anybody put out any kind of confidential information about the system itself, where it's located, how you access it, passwords, it's just all speculation of what caused all this and who told who to do what.
Right.
And that I don't think falls into the confidentiality thing, because the security of your cameras is absolutely important, and we need to protect that. I haven't seen anything about that on Facebook, and no one's actually asked me that question, so I think everything's okay. And hopefully we can get feedback from the DOT on where they want those cameras, so if we decide today on something, we can include that with our installation process.
Yeah.
So sooner rather than later, hopefully we can connect with them, and we can make those changes to accommodate your meeting. Okay? I'm frustrated too.
Would you like to add, Kylie, be added to the agenda as a standing agenda item, and then if you don't need to have
You can get
anything,
with
you
the
can
auditor
just.
if you wanna do that.
Yeah.
You can reach out to the
Because
auditor.
we
don't
have
have to go
standing,
after
so,
this.
I mean, like Chip is a standing, and if he doesn't have anything to present, he just says, I have nothing to present. So this way, you have the option, if you, it's to your point,
But she,
to speak, and if you have nothing, you just say, I have nothing.
And not be limited to the 3 minutes.
This way you're not limited to 3 minutes, and
or when she needs to speak, she can ask the auditor. You don't have to be on there every time, if that's what
it's
you
her
choose.
call. It's open to you if you want.
I'll just think about that.
Okay, all right. Anyone else that wish to comment? Otherwise, we'll move to the phone.
Hi, Sherri, Homestead. Couple of meetings, I didn't say a word, I just sat back and listened. The last meeting was very enlightening. I encourage anybody and everybody to watch it all the way through. Oh, forgot my thing. Once again, myself and many others would ask for your resignation, as you do not have the integrity. Last week, it was on the 21st, that meeting was unbelievable. Your lack of professionalism is embarrassing to the county. We do not have a 3-member board, we have a 2-member board. If everyone would see how that works, and it is not for our community, many lies are going on. The last meeting, when I watched it all the way through, the lies between Jessica and Heather were unbelievable. You should watch it and see what happened there, because it's really very enlightening. Thank you, Leslie, for making that access to everybody. Mistreatment and blatant disrespect from both of you. You know, we are the taxpayers. You work for us. We don't work for you. And please take the smirk off your face. I really don't appreciate it, and neither does anyone, and you too, Jessica. Please, or are we gonna get to see you spin out again? Because that's so professional. And you're gonna talk about decorum today. You have the worst decorum of all, both of you. It's hideous, it's pitiful, ridiculous. Both of you are paid to take care of us, and you're not. Thank you for the work. Oh, to work for the county, we don't work for you. You are both an embarrassment to the county. I really don't know what to say because this is just beyond ridiculous. Your lies are unbelievable. The fact that you try to cover each other's ass with your stupid lies is beyond me. I don't know what you want from Madison County. I really don't. I don't know why you're here. I don't know why you lie about what you do. I do not know what you want from Madison County. I'm sure you're making a killing cash-wise, but I haven't quite figured it out. And my other thing is, please don't do that. And you say that your lives have been threatened. I was always taught to believe that, gee, if that's happening, you're really not living right. And you got some issues. Take the smirk off your face, Jessica. I was only bothered by the fact that Doug called you fat. The other part really fits. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and move to the phone.
Ryan Hobart. I want to remind everyone, the board, everybody here, that I have an office across the hallway. And the fact that we have children sitting in our audience, one that's left and one that's still sitting there, and the way that we talk to each other and the way that we act is not, I don't want that reflective upon my office. We've had people come in and things have blown up over here and that affects me. They're like, what is going on? I want to remain professional. I want to remain with a good reputation. And I feel like because of my situation across the hall, when these meetings go on, is not ideal. And I would just ask that we work together and that we try to accomplish the goal that everybody's after. Because I feel like we're battling a lot.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you. Okay, anyone else wish to speak? Otherwise, we will go ahead and move to.
So I'm Andrew Hornback. I also have an office right across the hallway here. On 2 occasions, I've had to usher people into the office, shut the window, close the door, just to conduct business. So I ask for the same respect that Ryan asked for. We work in the same spot. There's no reason for name calling. There's no reason for things spinning out of control. We need to learn how to control our emotions, speak respectfully to each other as human beings. Let's work together. Let's get through this. There's nothing that can't be solved, that can't be done. So if we could, that'd be great. We'd appreciate that. And everybody that comes to do business here would appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Otherwise, we'll move.
Nick Scar, Earlham, Iowa. Here we are again, another day where, in my opinion, accountability continues to be missing in Madison County. The county attorney, auditor, and Diane appear to believe that they are above accountability in the law, from avoiding open records requests, false accusations, and violating their own ethics and code. The difference between my story and theirs is simple. My concerns are backed by emails, recordings, and public records. They are not based on rumors and conspiracy theories. Now let's get back to that personal Ring camera. The county attorney has acknowledged that the Ring cameras installed in Madison County Courthouse are his personal cameras. Despite the admission, they remain installed today to the best of my knowledge. I have also requested the alleged photo or video that supposedly shows me taking pictures of those cameras. That request has been denied based on safety concerns, according to Swanson. I have one simple question. What safety concern prevents you from providing me with a photo or video that supposedly shows me taking pictures in a public hallway? If such evidence exists, produce it. If not, you lied. You failed your oath in violations of professional conduct of the office. Some of the emails I've received from the county attorney speak for themselves. You can piss up a rope. I can put whatever I want, wherever I want. Suggestions that I should seek professional help. Those statements are not what citizens should expect from the county attorney. On July 22nd, I received a call from an individual who had recently stood trial in Madison County. I will not identify that person out of their respect. They expressed concerns that jurors were moved to the 3rd floor because the jury room was too hot. The same floor where the ring cameras are installed. Hopefully that individual didn't do something to you, a family member or friend. We are all aware of recent tragedies that happened recently in Madison County. Will this allow him to appeal against his case? If there is an appeal in one, we can all thank Mr. Swanson because he just happens to need audio. If surveillance practices, juror privacy, or courthouse procedures ever become issues in future appeals, the problems can be barely avoided by addressing the concerns when they were first brought forward. If county officials are aware of these concerns and choose not to act, they should also expect to answer for those decisions in the same manner the person violating those concerns. This has never been about politics or person grudges for me. If the events surrounding the closed session meeting by Diane hadn't occurred, I would not have spent the time uncovering these issues. I am not going to stop looking for answers. On the way out today, make sure you personally thank her for making a big mistake in front of the wrong person. To those who have tried to dismiss me, intimidate me, or make this personal and violate my rights, you underestimate the determination of someone who believes government should be held transparently and accountable to the people it serves and will be held accountable. Steve, Michele, and Diane, you're all on notice, as well as others. I promise, this is far from over for me.
Anyone else wish to speak? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and move to.
Let's stop. Let's just stop.
This is something completely unrelated to.
Let's don't. This is draining.
All I have to say, Steve from Winterset, is 129,600 minutes. That's how many minutes it takes to make up 90 days. That's how many days that you got notice that the 2080 agreement with Warren County was canceled. You no longer have a public health nurse at the end of 90 days. You have spent, God knows, 600 plus minutes talking about camera systems and ring cameras and all this other stuff that isn't in your purview. I have not heard one mention of what's happening with the public health nurse, where they're gonna go. You're still talking about selling the public health building. We don't have a public health nurse lined up. There's 45 days or so left. And that's never crossed your agenda items or anything like that because you're too busy worried about stuff that isn't in your purview. So please do your jobs. I requested you on behalf of all the citizens in Madison County to do your actual jobs and quit bickering and sitting up there smirking and thinking you know better than everyone, challenging anyone that asks you a question. Please just do your jobs. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wish to comment? Otherwise, we'll move to the phone. Okay, we are, for the folks on the phone, if you wish to comment, please hit *6 to unmute your phone, state your name and where you're from. Give them a couple seconds, that's a bit late. There it is.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Oh, hi, this is Shelley Marsh. Can you hear me? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Go ahead, Shelley.
It keeps going on and off. It's probably, yes, thank you. Shelley Marsh, Earlham. I agree with Ryan Hobart and the other gentleman that spoke. We call into these meetings, we want to hear what's going on, the progress, what's being looked at. I appreciate all three of the supervisors, especially what Heather and Jessica has gone through. The public to these meetings have just gotten out of hand with their commentary and their swearing and their yelling. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry that Kylee feels being accused of things about the phone in her office. She was good enough to come forward and say, hey, I want to work this out with you. The back and forth between the board and her was wonderful.
I appreciate her and what her job is and wanting to keep us safe. I just wish people would come to these meetings and just be professional about it, and they're wanting the board to be professional. They're trying to do their job. The health situation, the state mandated that the money goes away for that, the health, and now we have a building that one office was in there and it needed to be sold and taken care of so that the county isn't paying all this money out for the building. They're trying to get that done. It's time that we act like Madison County people, not irate, crazy people coming in here screaming and yelling and demanding, resignations and all of that. These two women were put in office by the voters, and they are being asked by the voters to do certain things, and they have. And they soon will be off the board. You can put somebody else on the board to do your bidding. But until then, can we please just come to these meetings and be civil and ask the questions that you want to ask and go forward? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shelley. Anyone else on the phone? All right, we'll go ahead and close public comment and move on to resolutions for board consideration. The first one is approving the approval and disapproval of homestead, disabled veteran homestead, and military service property tax exemptions. I don't know if Sean is here and wants to say anything.
He's not.
He's not, okay.
If you read it very carefully in your packet, two of them, he opted to not.
No, it's just, it's fine. I mean, my resolution.
Yeah, the resolution is already.
Do you have any questions?
No, I just didn't know if Sean was here to say anything about the homestead, veteran homestead, service property tax exemptions or anything like that.
I was trying to explain it.
Okay,
No, he just, is on the form.
okay,
It's on the form, and there were two.
He'll give the reasons.
okay,
And then we
He
have to
said
write out,
The rest of
the
these are
anonymity
fine.
of most of that.
okay. All right, I just want to know if he, since it was his thing, I just didn't know if he wanted to say anything, so, okay.
It's all in there if you want.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. The next one is approving the award of $37,000 from the opioid settlement fund to Turning Point Evaluation, Madison County School Districts. Diane, I just have a question. Do we still get applications in from other people?
No, we haven't.
We haven't. Is it still on the website that people can apply?
Oh, I don't know. It's just so successful that we've kept it. We haven't even asked because it works so well.
Oh, I agree. I just don't want to be accused of
Oh,
not evaluating
no
everybody,
one's,
so,
I
but no one said anything in.
No one has said anything,
Okay.
and because we're so successful. Oh, that's
So
not
what's-
true. We did have one, but it was another county wanting our money,
Oh, okay,
and we said, no, we're using the
Okay.
money.
okay. Well, we should reach out to them and say, hey, we'll take your money.
Well, no, because they want our money, so
Okay.
probably not.
All right, so we'll have to eliminate that county from the list for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need a motion,
Yes.
so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just, do we have any clarification, any further clarification regarding future funds? Or
Yes,
is
it's
where we're at?
trickling in, Stephen knows, it's trickling in, it comes in chunks, small chunks or bigger chunks, and it's trickling in, so we were gonna kind of wait with the opioid task force and wait a little bit closer to the school year and let it get more money, so they can start the school year with it,
It'll
so.
never be the amount it was.
We don't
I
know.
think we got 4 checks last week,
Do you have any idea what the amount is?
20,000.
28, yeah.
So that'll be an add to the 37,000 that's
When
on
it, yeah,
here.
when we
Later.
got, we'll let it gather
Like
up
last
later.
week, we got, I think, 4 checks, maybe 5, I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
I just wanna make sure that that since this is, public money, I wanna make sure the public is aware, and other entities who wanna have can apply. We don't wanna
It
just
sounds like,
default.
what we have found is, once it is proven successful, no one applies for it. That's what we have found.
I don't wanna be accused, so I think we should
All right,
still
I
just
know.
put it out there so we can say we put it out there and no one applied. If you could make make sure that happens. So, any further discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Okay, the next one is approving the award for the video security equipment upgrades and vendor services for the courthouse annex EMS. I spent a lot of time evaluating this, and, I don't know what you, ladies have for comment on that, but I have more questions.
Oh, good, 'cause I don't like them, so.
So I have more questions, when we get to my.
So can we table this and study some more?
Well, I wanted to kind of see what questions you have.
Yeah, let's
and-
consolidate what our questions are, so we can make sure to get.
And if the board is interested, I can send my, spreadsheet, but, so I looked at each one of them, and I think we need to ask clarification questions of each of them. So, for, SEI, they only quoted 8 terabit for the courthouse and 12 terabit for the annex EMS, which is not enough.
I thought the
You need to, for, especially if we wanna put cameras outside the annex, which we've been talking about. And so you need probably at least 60 for the courthouse, potentially, 40 for terabit for the annex EMS. So, SMG, they, quoted 20 terabit for all 3 locations. I don't think that's enough. Permar, they actually quoted the 60 terabit for each location, which was great. However, instead of, the regular licenses that come free, they added in enterprise licenses,
every time, yeah.
which is designed for like huge canvases,
Yep.
not our little. So, and then Farcom, I think, came the closest. They quoted 40 terabit, for the courthouse and 20 terabit for each of the annex EMS. They did the pro instead of enterprise. So if the board is open, what I think we should do is go back to each of these vendors and ask them to re-quote 60 terabit at each site and with the pro, so we get basically apples to apples.
Yes.
And then we can compare that way. I think there's, right now, my guess is 2 of them are gonna be competing with each other, regarding prices, but I won't know until we have.
All right, so let's do
Are you guys
that.
okay with that, or do you have other
Absolutely.
questions?
Yes, and I'd be okay if you're okay with, consolidating your questions and sharing that with the board, so we can make sure that we have all the questions.
Well, I don't have any questions, that was I just had to
Just,
re-quote 60 terabit.
that's fair enough, just to make sure that we're actually looking at comparable proposals.
Cause I think they quoted what they thought would work, and based on what we currently have and what our plans are, I think we definitely need at least 60 terabit. So if you guys are okay with that,
Absolutely,
I'll
yes.
copy you on that
Yes.
to them, and do you want my spreadsheet too, so you can.
Sure.
I
So-
think that'd be good, yeah.
I want a motion that we are going to I would make a motion that we, reach out to Heather and reach out to each company for requotes.
And table the resolution.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of tabling the resolution and reaching out to each of these vendors with, to requote for 60 terabit pro at each site, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion carries. Okay, so that is tabled. And if you guys are okay, I can also ask each one of them how much it would cost to move cameras, just so we know.
Go ahead,
Are
do
you
it all
okay
at
with that?
once.
Yeah, that'd be great, just
Okay.
to know, because we know we're gonna have to lose
So,
them, so.
Yeah, so I will ask them to do that as well.
And is the 60 terabytes, I mean, is that gonna give us a little bit more bandwidth to add cameras too?
Mhm. We might have to update our switches.
Did
But-
Johnson Controls not bid because their contract was canceled?
We only reached out to channel partners, and they're not a channel partner. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I will note that. Okay, all right, so The next one is approving the, the closing of Meadowview Avenue and 120th Street from 13 July to 14 July for culvert repair.
So moved. It's
Done.
complete, isn't it?
Yeah.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The next one is approving one lane closure at Pitzer from 14 July until repairs are completed. Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The next one is approving bridge closure number 14-550-515 due to structural failure. We got a picture of that. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. The next one is approving closing Settlers Avenue from 23rd July to 6th August for culvert replacement. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The next one is approving documentation procedure of existing secondary roads camera system. This is because we passed that resolution and these cameras are old and no one wants to go through 15 years of documents to prove that they were approved. So we're just gonna do it all in one.
To make sure it's all formalized.
It's all formalized, and because of sensitive security information, we did not include the resolution in the packet, but I believe you got a copy from Mike, so you guys were able to read it.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for putting all that together.
Yes. So I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All right, the next one is approving the award contract to Herbiger Construction of Indianola, Iowa, in the amount of 1.756541.39. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The next one is approving the award contract to Gus Construction of Casey for 1.050911.33. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mike, can we really strongly try to work with them to do it together?
We'll try.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next one is a zoning ordinance approving the Morrison Woods subdivision. This is what we had the public hearing about today. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The next one is zoning, approving M. Sawyers as full-time administrative assistant at 26.50 per hour effective 3rd August. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This was to replace
The contract worker,
Okay.
yes. All in favor, please vote aye. And is there any discussion? I'm
Well,
sorry.
she actually retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was contracted afterwards now. Do I have a motion to approve? I'm sorry, there was
We
already a
already
motion,
did.
already discussion.
Yeah.
All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Okay, the last one is the, excuse me, resolution we added to the agenda as an amendment was for the hire of assistant county attorney. For Jeremy Flaws, full-time, $94,000, effective August 5th. Do we know, is this replacing somebody?
Yes, yeah.
Zero, okay. All right, so,
And it's at the it's at the same salary then.
Everything's the same, yeah.
yeah, everything's the same.
Polk County.
I went and quick looked. Okay, all in favor of approving the CA resolution for the hire of Jeremy Flaws for full-time assistant county attorney for $94,000 annually, please, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. All opposed, motion carries. Okay, we are now into reports. I'll let you gals speak for a while.
Go ahead, Kim.
Well, Donna updated the roof replacement, and generated an addendum for that roofing contractor, just to stipulate what the specific, code was, to follow, Iowa Code 573. So I just received that while we're in this meeting, the signed copy, so I'll forward that to you. So we can get that implemented and get the equipment are the materials.
Is it a DocuSign or is it an actual document?
It's an actual PDF.
I'll go over and print it and sign it.
Okay, thank you. And then, I've been playing some tag with and actually met with Excel this morning at the Elderly Services Building. There was more duct work, basically all the flex duct in the space needed to be removed because it was fabric. And I actually met with them this morning. They're going to give us a proposal to replace all that duct that was removed, but also pull and replace that duct, the hard duct that's out in the space, because it's not insulated on the interior wall. It's only insulated on 3 sides. So what I asked them to do is can you just give us an updated proposal that includes all of that, so we know, we can move forward on that. And then we had a emergency management commission meeting, we didn't have a quorum. However, we still got an update from Mitch, it seems like he's got quite a lot of really good positive things happening in that regard. That's all I really got for today, other than I know we probably need to schedule a handbook work session again, now that we've got that draft, and also, well, we'll see on the audit RFP what we need to do on that going forward. Maybe I'll just deal with that via email.
Well, we
I
can't
guess.
make decisions via email, we have to have a meeting.
Well, I mean, sharing the information, but then do we need to schedule another meeting? I know Michele said she couldn't meet next week, but.
Well, I think, and when we get to that, we can discuss it more, but I think her thought process was sit down with her and Kylee. One of us sit down with her and Kylee
That's what she said.
and go over that, and where they're like, okay, this is really a board decision, what do you think? And then you guys can, one of us, whoever is a designated supervisor, could just make the call on what. I'm not entirely comfortable with that, but, we can discuss that further, because there's not a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So, like, one of the ones I gave you as an example, you know, would you be willing to extend out the forensic audit if necessary? I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if they're, especially if they're finding anything, or they're looking deeper into stuff, and, you know, I want them to make sure they take the time necessary to get us where we need to be, so we don't have any issues with our books going forward. So, but that's just, I don't recall all the questions, because we had 8 different submissions for questions, so.
I'll defer to you and Michele and Kylee regarding if we need to set up another time, or, you know, how we can keep it moving forward.
Well, the thing is that these questions need to get published, because the RFP closes in, a little under a month. So these vendors need to have these answers, so they can start preparing their proposals. So the longer we delay, the longer they're gonna be able to respond, and we may have to do an amendment to extend the RFP response date.
So do we want to get something on the calendar? I understand Michele said she can't meet next Tuesday, but do we wanna get something on the calendar?
She said she can't meet next week.
This
At
week is
all.
very difficult. You have very taxed, county employees because of handling.
It
That's
doesn't prevent
already-
you 3 from meeting together.
That's my point,
And
is
then
how do we do
Well, we
this?
still need-
very
For your
hard.
board answers. So you
Right.
can get that direction, and then you bring that to Kylee and I.
But we would still need a clerk. Is that gonna be an issue?
As long as it's not, just a really marathon meeting. I mean, if
Okay.
that's the only thing on it,
Okay.
is that fair?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So you guys have all the questions. There's not a lot of board feedback. Most of the stuff, I would say 98% is gonna be Kylee and Michele.
So let them.
But there are some things that we need to provide direction on, and I'm not entirely comfortable making that call on behalf of the board.
So should we go ahead and plan to meet next Tuesday at 9:30, just to make sure we're all on the same page? If any board deliberation that needs to happen can happen then, so we don't slow this down any further?
Well, Michele, you said that you probably have all your answers, you and Kylie's answers done by the end of the week.
Yeah.
So if the board is open to that, I'd like for us to meet and get them that answers by the end of the week, so she can put everything together, so we can get it published by next week,
So
Wednesday.
Tuesday, the 4th at 9:30.
No, that's all I'm hearing. I'm hearing, I should be speaking from back here. Excuse me, apologize for that. So, what I'm hearing, Heather, is you'd like to meet sometime, maybe Thursday?
Something
you-
to
you're
where,
here all day
well,
Thursday,
I'm gonna make
right?
sure that
Yeah.
the board has enough time to read the questions.
Cause Tuesday is actually a
2 days.
conflict, a rare conflict for me.
It gives you guys 2 days.
So Thursday the sixth at 9:30. How's that?
No, for this week, Diane.
We can't this week. Don't do it.
They
It's,
need to,
it's just too hard.
No, this is not for them, this is just for us to go over the questions.
I can't do this Thursday. I cannot.
Okay, cause it interrelates.
I have 30,000 people driving by my house.
Okay.
No,
So, and Friday's out, I'm assuming too.
it's just too hard for all of us. And I think all of your staff is so taxed with this.
so I could do Tuesday a little bit later, I just unfortunately had a conflict Tuesday morning at our normally scheduled time.
Tuesday the 4th you're talking?
I
How about-
could do like, 11 or 11:30.
That's okay with me.
11:30?
Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, 11:30 to 12:30, that she's out.
That's-
So
yeah, 'cause I
12:30,
know
that'll
you're
give you
early.
guys a good reason to stop, so.
Okay.
So we'll go 11:30 to 12:30.
Let's make
I
sure.
don't have any personal stuff. Yeah, that works.
Okay.
So 11:30 to 12:30.
Got it. The 4th,
The
Tuesday the 4th. Got it.
Okay, and, you'll be recovered from hinterland by then? Okay.
All right.
And it'll just be a work session, right?
Work session, well, do
We'll
we have,
have a deliberation.
we have a
regarding-
deliberation, have to give you direction.
So
is that-
special.
Is that a special, or can we just provide the answers and?
I think the work session,
Okay.
and then you bring,
Then we'll have to bring it back. Okay.
well, then when we get together.
I will compile all the answers and send them to you to include, and hopefully you'll be ready to go, just plug and play and get
And
it
then you'll
published.
look at them, and make sure that I haven't been too blunt.
It's all
I'm sure
right.
it's fine. I think people can handle it.
Right.
Okay, so we have a special meeting on August 4th at 11:30 to 12:30.
And Sarah will get that in the, published
Okay.
work session.
And then scheduling handbook work session, do we wanna just wait till the next meeting?
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
just
do
wait
it
till the
then.
next meeting.
So can you add handbook work session just to schedule it on the next agenda for next regularly scheduled meeting, please? Thank you.
Well, we can talk about
Or
it
on Tuesday?
We can talk about it on Tuesday and get it scheduled.
It's just a scheduling thing though, so
Yeah, you don't, yeah.
it doesn't take more than our hour.
Okay, did you have anything else to report?
No, thank you.
Diane?
I attended HERDA, a hearing. I entered a float in the St. Charles Parade, which I don't Facebook, but I think it's made it all over. I made a giant 6-foot birthday cake, and it won. It was just a nonpartisan fun thing. We had Mike Hackett, thank you, and the mayor of St. Charles. We did household hazardous waste day in front of the Jackson building, and we lose count, but 70, vehicles come through, and we took a lot of waste, and a lot of really nasty waste, but, so thank you for bringing it. So that's what I did.
So I spent a lot of time reviewing the camera responses and digging into the equipment and researching that. I also reviewed, the RFP audit questions that were sent by the 8 different vendors, so, I'm sure you guys are gonna enjoy all those questions when you get a chance to look at them. I attended the Iowans for Tax Relief Symposium, for elected officials and government employees. That was very informative. And then I met with several constituents regarding our fiscal 23 and fiscal 24 audit reports. So got an earful on that. And that was pretty much it. There was kind of slow on meetings for my boards. So, I just wanted to say too, for a clarification, a lot of people think that we are in charge of the Board of Health. We are not. The Board of Health is an appointed board. We do not have control over what they decide. We do not have control over their 2080s. We do not have control of when they set their meetings and what they decide to do for public health. They are separate authority. The Board of Supervisors have no authority. So if they decide they want to cut a program, they can do that. If they want to do a 28E, they can do that as well. They do not need our permission to do that. Regarding if our county attorney has any questions, I encourage him to direct those questions to the Board of Health chair, who makes these decisions. It is not a Board of Supervisor authority. However, to that vein, they are going to be meeting sometime in August to discuss the 28E. Because we do have 3 nurses, we are blessed to have 3 nurses, one of which is a nurse practitioner on our Board of Health. And we are blessed to have nurse access. So I don't think that's gonna be a concern for anybody. That's what I've been told by the chair. Also too, the state has offered to step in and bridge the gap between when that 2080 ends and when the new regionalization begins. That's another thing that a lot of people are not aware of. Things are gonna change immensely come January because of regionalization of public health. So a lot of our boards, a lot of our public healths in many counties are gonna be changing because of that. Administrative authority is moving to the state. We're not gonna have administrative authority anymore. So lots and lots of changes. And unfortunately, we don't know what those are completely because the state has not yet disclosed all that. So hopefully we'll have more information on that. But I am trusting our Board of Health to keep track of that because that is their responsibility, is not the Board of Supervisors' responsibility. So, other than that, I have nothing else to report. We can go ahead and move to old business, which the first one is the VA office relocation and auction sale of public health building. This is a standing that we had requested to put on here until the project is done. I did send an email out to Dream Dirt when Chip was talking, because I wanted to see where we are at.
He's responded.
He has responded.
Oh, well, that was you, never mind.
He said, he's going to
Sometime this
contact,
week.
he'll plan to be there sometime this week, he's hoping tomorrow, but that possibly Thursday. So he has all the contact information, Jason from Dream Dirt, so hopefully he'll get with you and Chip, and we can get this ball rolling. So update from that, and then regarding, the office relocation, I don't know if you have any updates on that, Jess?
Mitigation is complete at the Elderly Services Building. We're just waiting on the final reporting on all of that. Getting the quote, as I mentioned in my board report, from Excel Mechanical for the additional ductwork. So I should be able to finalize the scope for the remodel here pretty quickly, fairly soon, so we can get that rolling.
And what about the testing for the mold remediation, has that come back clean? It's come back clean?
Yep.
Awesome.
It's all gone?
Yep.
Yay, awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
They had to remove a little bit more of the sheetrock than we had initially intended, and like I mentioned, the ductwork, there's some flex duct in there.
Probably needed.
In the space, so, yeah, we're gonna have a fresh, clean, beautiful space when it's all said and done. I'll try to get the next steps done with the scope, here sooner than later. And then I'll forward, of course, all the reporting and all of that as soon as I get that back. They've still got, I was there this morning, Rainbow's still got a fan in the space, but it's looking really good.
Okay. Do we have any issues with the rain at all recently?
Not that I've been made aware of, there could have been some issues that I wasn't advised of, but.
I didn't hear anything, have you heard anything? Okay. All right, moving on, the next agenda item is Board of Supervisors. Yeah.
I apologize. Would it be possible to move item 6 to next? I have a hard stop at 11:30.
Oh, sure.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Okay.
So we'll move that. Discussion and possible motion to give direction regarding possible fiscal 27 budget amendment. I put this on here because we talked about this, we briefly mentioned it at a previous meeting, I can't remember which one. But I know we're kind of in a standstill in some
Okay.
areas.
We're okay, we're gonna wait for the public health, I'm sorry, I apologize, the elderly services dollars to come in for the scope, because that would affect, what we do there. And then if there's any additional monies that we need to rework or remove or move around. I just have 3 departments with minor amendments, nothing worth the effort to do a budget amendment
Okay,
yet. So
so-
we're well within, it's early, it's
So
Okay.
this is in progress and you're working together.
Well, again, is there anything you guys?
I just
think
wanted to
about?
make sure, because of some things are in flux,
Just,
that we're okay on, cause I don't want to.
We're not over yet.
Expend
Yep,
more than we've appropriated.
agreed. It's within the same department, it was in the same service area, so we're good.
Okay,
And I do know what you're speaking of. and
Okay.
yes,
so I just wanna make sure we stay on top of that, cause the last thing I want is,
I have,
okay,
absolutely.
alright, so, would you be opposed to, are you comfortable having this as a standing, or do you wanna just kind of bring it?
You, absolutely, that's not a problem.
Okay,
And actually, I can just make it a part of my regular
Report.
That would be great.
report at the beginning of the meeting.
yeah, you could do that, that would
Sounds
be good.
good.
Alright, and
Thanks,
it'll
Michele.
save me from having to remember to put it.
Nope, I'll just put it, Sarah will put it as a.
She's already got it.
I know
She's
she
on the
does.
ball.
Okay, alright, thank you.
I apologize for
Nope.
my,
That's
No,
okay.
thanks.
departure.
We know
Thank
you
you
have
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, so, we're moving, going back to the Board of Supervisors Meeting Decorum. Jess, I know you added this.
So we updated, and passed and expanded, and added Rule 15 to our board policy regarding decorum. And we continue to have multiple disruptions. Seems to be a core group of a few individuals who have repeatedly, interrupted our meetings and policy, and violated policy. So I wanted to make sure that, if you could scroll down a little bit, Sarah, on that one. Scroll down below, there we go. So.
Just
on
can you
this
blow it
policy-
up a little bit? Can you expand it a little bit? Thank you.
Okay. So, and then scroll up a little bit, process for addressing disruptions, there you go, oh, scroll down a little, there we go. So, I wanna make sure that the, first of all, I don't believe that this has been posted on our website. So if that's something that you can make a note on, Sarah, to make sure that it's on our website, so the citizens can access this information. Number two, we have continual, interruptions and disruptions. And this is the current policy. So if we need to change the current policy, we can do that. If not, I will be making a motion in future meetings to initiate trespass orders against these individuals who continue to disrupt. So I wanna make sure that everybody's aware of it. I see that the worst offenders aren't even here for this, so, possibly, and I'm open if they would like to have a conversation directly with me about this policy. If there are changes that the board would like to see, or any other recommendations anyone has, I'm open to that. But this cannot continue, to
It's
go
causing
on.
disruption to offices across the way.
It's horribly disruptive, not only to other county employees and to everyone who is in this room, but it's just completely out of order and it's not appropriate. So I'm asking the citizens to familiarize themselves with this policy, and I'm asking the board to be prepared. If this happens again, I will be asking for a formal trespass policy update against certain individuals who continue to do this.
I think that we do need to follow policy where they get one warning, and then if they do it again, have them removed, and if they're a perpetual offender, then trespass. I think we need to have that. Rather than the trespass, I think we need to.
Well, but what I'm saying is, these individuals who, for example, interrupted last week, those were repeated disruptions by the same individuals, repeated multiple meetings, we're beyond that.
Yep.
There can be, I'm okay with giving them one more, making sure that they're very familiar with this, and they understand the next time that they interrupt and cause these disruptions, formal trespass orders will be brought forward and we will have a vote on it.
We can't function like this. We have to
No.
function as a board, and I understand that people disagree, and they are free to disagree. However, a public meeting is not a public conversation. So you are here, if you wanna speak, you speak during public comment, but the board needs to do their business. And we can't do their business if we have people yelling at us from the gallery, if we have people interrupting, if we have folks being, verbally assaulted in the vestibule, we can't continue to have that function as a board. People speak at elections, that's when they can speak. We are here to do the job of the board, and when we had the whole contentious stuff about the wind turbines, we never had the disruptions then like we had in the last year and a half. It's been awful. And people were very angry about those turbines. You remember that, Diane? They were very angry that they never have disrupted the way the folks have in the last year and a half. So, I'm perfectly fine with, I don't want to have to trespass them, but we cannot continue to have the onslaught that interrupts our meetings and now are overflowing into our employees across the way. We just can't keep doing that.
So I want it on record, and I want it, people need to understand, we have individuals who have violated this multiple times. This isn't just continue to give warning, continue to give warning, continue to give warning. And
We
maybe
had to
maybe
recess
the
our last
friends,
meeting and call the sheriff.
we had to call the sheriff at the last meeting. So maybe the friends of those individuals who continue to do this, maybe y'all could talk with them and make sure they're aware of this.
Anything else? Otherwise, we'll move on to the next agenda item.
No, thank you for pulling that up, Sarah.
All right. The next one is discussion and possible motion to proceed with an engineer review of OPN response. So, the last time we talked about this is we had OPN and Bright Holes come out here and look at everything that's going on. And they submitted their opinions and feedback and all that kind of stuff. So, the request now is to have, obviously, they disagreed with the inspector's assertion that there is a design flaw in the ramp walls that's causing the efflorescence. So in order to respond, we have to have the engineer respond as to why that is the case. However, they charge for their time. So he provided a quote of what it would cost for him to respond to OPN's assertion that no, this is basically perfectly normal, and so I'm bringing it to the board so we can discuss that, and that is the advice that I've received from legal Allers, and to see if we can have basically an engineer talk to an engineer, is basically what it is.
I think it behooves us to have the subject matter experts.
I think you should write a resolution to move forward, put the price on it and move forward.
For the 1,800?
Yeah.
Up to 1,800?
Yeah, just do it. Make a resolution, put it on the next regular meeting and get it done. Just discuss things over and over, just do it.
Well, our policy is that we discuss it before the resolution.
Let's do it. We've been discussing it a lot, and
Can we add it to Tuesday, since it should be a quick?
We'd have to make it a special.
Okay.
I mean, we can do that, but.
So we would do it on the 11th, then would be the next, is that correct? Tuesday the 11th? For the resolution?
Tuesday the 11th, unless you wanna make the 4th a special, we can do that, and it would be the only resolution on there. It's the board's call, but we've been kicking this can down the road.
That's just it, it's
And
not
every
so
time,
long.
every rain we have, the efflorescence keeps coming back and it's soaking into the limestone, and it's.
The auditor, can you handle this? If we do it a special, I mean, this dumps all on you guys.
We just pass a resolution and take
The
it.
resolution wouldn't be generated.
It's okay,
for them.
all right,
Is that okay?
turn it to a special.
So let's add, can we add it to next Tuesday?
Yeah, turn it to a special meeting.
Then it's the audits and the inspector. Okay, it still should be a pretty quick meeting.
Yeah, and that was his maximum cost, cause he said it wouldn't take longer than a day, so obviously if it's less than that, it'll be less than that.
Yeah, so you can just write the resolution
Up
for
to.
up to, yeah. Okay, that sounds good, thank you.
All right, so the next one, we kind of talked about this when Michele was here about contracted employee hires. We've been hiring contracted employees, and we want to make sure that we're following the correct process. to make sure that we don't get dinged in a future audit, because we will, if they didn't follow the correct process for contract hires. Because unless they're, the only office under Iowa code that's allowed to do this is the auditor's office. No one else can. So unless the board approves it. And so we wanna make sure that if they're not in the auditor's office, we're following the correct process, and then even if they are in the auditor's office, it can't be done forever. So,
Well, let's make a resolution and add it to the policy handbook.
she provided some documentation I wanna review. So, and I'm assuming that she did say she talked to Ellers about it, so I wanna make sure that we're following things. And that if anything was amiss, we document it, so if it comes up as a finding, we can explain what happened and move on. Cause I don't know if it would be a finding or not, I don't know. So I just wanna make sure, because normally hires come through the supervisors, they don't come through as a contractor. Because that bypasses the whole approval process. Okay, so the next,
So we're tabling that in essence, so we can review further.
we wanna
on
review it
contract
further,
policy.
and then.
Well, it's not a resolution, you
Yeah.
just have it as a business.
There's a motion, but, since she provided that documentation, I wanna have a chance to read it over. But we should probably nail down that a little bit more, because we can't, I don't think Iowa code allows indefinite contract hires without board approval, so we need to nail that down. Okay, so I'll leave it to you guys to review that, and the next regular meeting, we can discuss it further.
Okay.
All right, so the next one is discussion of possible motion to give direction regarding the outstanding state auditor invoice. So at our last meeting, the July 14th meeting, I was told to send follow-up questions to the state auditor for more detail. And they did respond back. They ignored a good portion of our questions and were vague on the others. So, and demanded that their bill be paid. I've had 2 members of the public come to me and say, why would we pay a bill? We don't know what's included. So the thing is that for this, unlike, attorney's bills, which we know what they are, this one we don't. The only concerns I have with the billing, I mean, I knew we were gonna pay a lot more money. I didn't expect this much. I really wish they would address the why those 8 findings that we've been doing for years, they never caught in the previous audit. And I would really like them to address the 2 findings that are way outside their wheelhouse and why they were a finding. So that's 10 findings of the 26 right there that are on there that I believe scared away our original bidder for audit services and put us in the place we're at right now. Now, I'm glad we're doing a forensic audit RFP, I think we need that. But I don't understand what the reticence is on providing more detail. I'm not questioning what they find, I just wanna know how much money was spent on that, how much time, especially in fiscal 23, they only billed us, I think, 22 more hours. But in looking at his breakdown, he billed only 2 hours from January to June. And then the rest of the hours are from June to November. So if they were double checking the fiscal 23, how come they only did 2 hours of double checking for 6 months? And then 20 hours for the next few months, and then nothing after that? So we could have had an exit interview for the fiscal 23, we could have been working on findings, and yet he waited another 5 months. So I don't like paying a bill that doesn't make sense. If the board wants to pay it, we can pay it, but that's where we're at right now. You have his response, and we just, what do you guys wanna do?
I think the questions are valid. It'd be great if they made an attempt to adequately answer the bulk of them. I mean, I guess I'm not necessarily demanding perfection, but at this point, they haven't even answered the bulk of the questions, correct?
Well, you got it from it was his chief of staff that answered, it wasn't an audit, one of his auditors, which is odd, but, okay. I just like to know, because we are responsible for paying bills, and I don't wanna pay a bill for stuff he did that was outside what his engagement letter was to do. So he was not engaged, he was engaged to do the fiscal 23 and 24 audits, not the fiscal 25, not for things outside his wheelhouse. That's what he was engaged with, and I'm a little concerned that we're gonna be, part of this bill, we're paying for things that we shouldn't. But again, I don't know, because we don't have that detail. So it's up to the board on what you wanna do.
You will lose this fight. This entire government will crush you. They did their job, they did it,
So you're comfortable paying for things that we may not?
I don't like it, but you will lose this
I'm not
fight.
saying
You will lose it, and it'll cost taxpayers a lot of money. They found fraud. We knew there was fraud, and they found it.
no, they did not. They said, they did not
You
state that
can't
in the
erase the
findings.
fraud findings.
They
Well,
did not say,
our
they said
treasurer
potential.
did illegal things.
I'm not saying she didn't, but they said, we gotta be careful, we're not misquoting what it says in the audit. It did not say that. And the reason why we're doing a forensic audit is because all of us are concerned that there might be. And if there is, I wanna make sure we find it. But he said that he could not make a justification based on the mess of the records, and I don't disagree with that.
You do not want to pick this fight.
So,
You will
I just-
lose.
I guess I don't view it as picking a fight. Can we give them one more chance to answer our questions and provide context in more detail?
I did follow up with a follow-up questions, and I've never gotten a response.
Okay.
So I think that's the response, is that they're just not gonna answer anymore.
And they're gonna come after you to pay the
And they're
bill.
gonna tell us to pay the bill.
Okay, well,
And if you don't pay the
do we
bill,
nudge
they'll
them again
withhold funding.
and forward the same exact request and just say, we'd really like to get these claims paid for you. And can you just answer these last questions we have? Alright, so Diane, are you just wanting to pay it?
They'll come down on you like a bag of rocks.
I think she's right, that that's the case, we'd probably lose that fight, and he would make it a campaign commercial.
Oh, be
So-
careful.
So Diane, it's election year, come on, we're all politicians. So I'm not comfortable paying the bill based on some concerns that I have. I've had members of the public that has expressed, why would we pay a bill if he's charging us for stuff that he shouldn't have done? We don't know for sure, because we don't have an answer. So I sent questions, they responded, I sent follow-up questions, I've gotten no response. And it's been over a week.
It's been over a week.
Yes. So I have a feeling they are not gonna respond.
Can we give it one more nudge and then assess?
So what I can do is I can follow up with that email, say, hey, if you want, I can narrow it down more to those items.
Maybe just the key and maybe just these key issues and.
This is the sticking point.
These
Can
are the
you at
sticking
least answer
points.
these? And then
Give
if
them
we get no
another
answer,
opportunity. Then we have our answer.
okay, so how about this? I can nudge them again, but on Tuesday, I'd like the board to make a final decision, because we cannot keep kicking this can down the road. Is that acceptable?
No, I don't agree with it. Don't.
You don't think we should follow up with it?
I do not. I do not. You've been given your answers. It's been made very public.
We
No.
weren't given answers though, that's the thing, Diane.
Well, they did the audit. We're gonna have to pay the bill. They
I
will get the money
They can
from
wait
you.
another week then, I guess, and give them more time to answer the questions. And if we can isolate for them, the ones we'd really like answers on.
The ones I really want is the stuff that were outside the scope. The fiscal 25, the ones that were not part of a financial audit, but somehow made it as a financial finding, and then why those 8, he put his findings, when we've been doing all that stuff for the last 5 years of audits they've done, and they've never cited it as a finding. That's weird to me. So,
Okay.
we could have, if they were an issue, we could have been making fixes by now. And that's the thing is, the
That's my
longer we
heartburn.
take, the more problems we're gonna have, and
And they've been, you know, we waited for how long for these
Right.
audit reports, but then now they're demanding payment without answering our questions. So I got a little bit of heartburn with that myself.
Yeah, especially since last June, we were told they were done. We just need to gather everything and do an next meeting. So,
Okay.
all right, well, I'm willing to do that, but Tuesday, we need to decide. And that's what I'll explain to my voters, is that we're kind of, to your point, Diane, we really don't have a lot of choice. We can try to get answers, but if we don't,
And if this is gonna go legal, potentially, maybe we should talk to council.
You will lose this.
I think asking questions isn't a problem, and if they choose not to answer the questions, then we have our hands.
All right, we've got your answer. You're gonna talk about this Tuesday, is that what you said? Let's move
Tuesday,
on.
and I'll give an update to the board, and then the board will just need to,
Let's
you know,
move
we
on.
can direct Michele to, if the board chooses to move forward, we can direct her to get the check cut. Okay, the next one is, we already went to that one about the fiscal 27. Discussion with possible motion regarding the authorized security cameras. So,
We need to do this before we,
I'm sorry, what?
nothing, go on, sorry.
Okay, so, Kylee made some really good points, about confidentiality and stuff like that. So, what is going on Facebook? The confidentiality in Iowa code, it talks about the network design, all those exposing passwords and all that kind of stuff. All the discussions I've seen on Facebook have to do with how this happened. Who said what to who told to change the passwords, blah, blah. That is not part of our cybersecurity. Is it concerning? Yes. So, I reached out to the Secretary of State. They were not involved in this process at all. There was a claim in a Earlham Echo article that stated that the Iowa Association of Counties told us to change the password, and it was because they were able to hack our cameras. And that was documented in a newspaper article. Well, this is what is in the newspaper article. So, of course, I don't go by rumors, I go right to the horse's mouth. So, I contacted them, and they said they were doing some kind of other project, and they wanted to see exposure. It was not part of their project, but they wanted to say, hey, is there any potential exposure, to, the county network. So, what they found was, and I think you talked about this once before, that the courthouse cameras were visible because no one had changed the default vendor password. So it was out there, and I don't know if it was like password 1, 2, 3, 4. I have no idea, but so either the vendor didn't change it, or it's been that way for years. So they contacted Michele on May 21st, letting her know that this was an issue for the courthouse. And that you should probably change your password. So, that's what happened.
So ISAC did try to find vulnerability?
No, they did not try it at all. No hack was done. They just saw it on the internet, which is a huge issue. And that's a failure from previous IT staff, it's a failure from our current camera system, failures all around.
But it was not the same experience for the annex
But
cameras.
there was no
There was
hack.
no.
There was no hack.
There was no hack.
Attempted, but.
No, there was no hack.
No.
They just saw that a password was the default password, and they said, you probably should change that. So, which is good, I'm glad someone found it, but at one of our previous meetings, you specifically said last year, you discovered this and said, hey, we need to change this, so you actually knew.
Well, it was actually, no username and password login was required to access that camera server when I got involved, and that's what was very alarming to me, anyone who had access to that workspace had access to the camera system. And so at that time, they were supposed to be updated, usernames and passwords. And that's when we went through and made sure that Sheriff Barnes and County Attorney Swanson had logins. And that was the last of my involvement.
So anyway, so they advised the county to, you should probably change your password, get rid of the default, for the courthouse. There was no issue in the annex, it's just the courthouse. So, and it was back in May 1st. So, I would like to know how long it took to change the password in the courthouse.
Who changes the password?
I don't know who changed the password, Diane, I'm assuming.
No, who's supposed to change it?
Either the vendor or the IT director, whoever was in charge, whoever had the admin password at the
So
time.
Solutions should have changed it.
No,
Who?
it would have been a previous IT director, because she was in charge of those cameras. Because those cameras have been in a long time, and we don't know how long that default password
Be
has been
careful
there.
about.
So, Diane, I am tired of misinformation, just like Kylee is. And I wanna make sure that we have the accurate information, because I'm tired of people accusing people wrongly. It needs to stop.
All right.
So,
Make a
so
decision.
anyway,
Let's move
so
on.
they, that's how this came about, but there was absolutely no issue with the annex. So I don't have an explanation, because this happened on May 21st is when they were notified. I don't know what happened on the 19th here. So, hopefully that puts to bed all the false accusations out there, and dates and times and all that stuff, because I went right to the horse's mouth and I didn't just make up stuff. So,
Yeah, it still doesn't explain what happened over here.
but the
great to
camera
have
system
some
hasn't
answers.
changed.
And it's unfortunate that it took, how many emails we up to on that email string? It was 44 last I looked. It's unfortunate that some clarity couldn't have been provided by those involved with this. And prevented a lot of this chaos surrounding this matter, but here we are.
Well, now we know what happened, and,
Well,
we know.
With one of the buildings.
With one of the buildings, but it does not explain what happened to this building. So, anyway, that's where we're at on that, and, hopefully I'll have more information to share with the board later, but, we at least have a date at what actually happened. And that, I've been assured that has been addressed with the courthouse cameras. And whoever we choose for the new vendor, I think what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have, I would like the board to consider, in addition to the vendor having admin, a designated person having admin as well. I don't know if that's something we want to move forward with or not, but we need to have someone, I think, on site as a designee, for each building. But we can discuss that further if you guys wanna do that. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we can certainly discuss that with the vendor. I have asked, that's one of the questions we need to find out when we choose a vendor, is the levels of different access and what those mean, and then designate, and make sure that it's called geofencing. Make sure that, say for instance, if Kylee wants to have access just to the cameras in her office, which I think she should, same thing with the auditor, same thing with zoning, that we can geofence, basically just limit them to having access to those cameras. I would like each of our department heads to have that, if the board is okay with that.
Yes.
So these are things we can work with, when we finally choose a vendor, we can sit down with the department heads and ask them that. Cause I wanna make sure they have control over their space, from a safety perspective. So, would you be opposed to that? Allowing them to have access to their.
Of course they should. They should have protection for themselves. Have you ever discussed it with any of them?
Kylee indicated at our last meeting that she would like to have it, so, I know she was frustrated in the past when she asked for, information and she didn't get it, so, I wanna make sure that doesn't happen again.
So is number 7 under old business, is that pertaining to what we were discussing, just discussing? Okay, so what about the unauthorized ring camera?
Well, the unauthorized ring camera, our county attorney was asked to remove it and he declined, to do so. And, we had a member of the public express concern. I've also had a member of the public who has had a case in the courthouse express concern as well as to why we need audio. And I don't know why we would need audio. Regarding the camera, the approved camera that's there, Johnson Controls did tell me that you could do remote access. You just need to set up, and I know the sheriff said at our last meeting that he just needed to set up the system. It is not dependent on the server. So I'm waiting to get written confirmation from Johnson Controls. This was just a technician I spoke with on Saturday. So I'm gonna wait and get written confirmation that that's the case, that it's just a matter of these two gentlemen getting the app, logging in, getting the client on their laptop, away you go, and then they can have access to any, as law enforcement, they can have access to any camera that they need access to, which is all of them.
And could have had access
And could have
all
had.
along this.
So this predates you, and Diane, maybe you remember these conversations, but back when I was first elected, that was one of the concerns I had, is that we had our law enforcement coming in and sitting down in the server to view video. I said, well, what if there's an incident? What if we have a shooter? What if there's something going on? I don't want our ladies and gentlemen of the law enforcement walking into something. So I wanted to have that remote access, and it was one of the things that I requested way back, that was years ago, when I was assured that they had that. I know they had it here in the EMS, but this is the first I'm hearing that they still don't have that set up. So that was something that should have been set up if they don't have it set up. And my understanding from the technician from Johnson Controls, and this may be different for the new vendor, if we choose a new vendor, is that all you need to do is put in a ticket to get it added. And then they actually have to have a technician come down here and set it up, if it isn't already set up. So I have requested to see if it has already been set up, and they just haven't done it. Because apparently there's some work they have to do in the server to get that done. So I'm confirming with them that they can do that, because we certainly don't want I want to empower our law enforcement as much as possible for safety reasons.
So is that the plan, to address that, and then, what do we do with the ring camera?
Well, the ring
that's
camera should
there?
be removed immediately, because it's a significant liability to the county.
That's right.
We don't have access to those records. We don't have oversight of that record. We don't know who has access to those cameras. We don't know who has permitted access to those cameras. There's also the issue from a security standpoint, is that they're not on a closed circuit. They're up in a cloud that's not maintained by us, that has been hacked in the past. So Ring is
hacked here or somewhere else?
No, Ring cameras, they're
Hacked
cloud
somewhere
server.
else, but
The
not
cloud
here.
server for Ring
Clarify that.
has been hacked, yes.
But not
So-
here, okay?
No, not here, because we're on closed circuit. So, and that's one of the reasons why we have closed circuit, is for security reasons. So I don't know what to do going forward on that. I mean, if he refuses to remove it, even though it's about policy to remove, to not have them, I don't know who's securing those records. I don't know who has oversight. We have no idea who has access to those cameras. It's recording audio.
We just tack this on to our communication with our council's communication with AG.
We can certainly do that, and because I think there's a legal risk here. I don't know the extent of that. I'm not a trial lawyer. So, but I do think there is a liability having a camera that the county does not control that records audio. And we have defendants, plaintiffs, jury members in that hallway during court. And it's recording audio, and we have no idea what they're recording. And the only one, as far as I know, that has access to it is our county attorney, and whomever else he's giving permissions to. So, I understand the desire to know who's in front of your door before you open the door. However, the county paid a lot of money to secure the county attorney offices. They have a keypad, they have a window, there's offices back there. Until we get this taken care of with the vendor, the county attorney could always move into one of those offices. And
There's
because,
not room.
well,
There's
Matt,
not room.
what do you mean there's not room?
For him
Yes,
to
there-
move back there, there's no
It would just be
room.
temporary. But it would address the security issue that he says he has. You know, we have a secured lock, there's a window there. I mean, before Matt Schultz, that's where the county attorney had their office. And Matt Schultz wanted a bigger office, so he moved.
And he put a ring doorbell outside.
Well, I'm
the
finding
door.
out now that, apparently so, but I'm not gonna accuse him of that, cause I've never seen it and I can't prove it.
It was there.
So, so anyway, so he can always move into that office until we get him set up on the approved camera that's, courthouse camera that's there, that's an option. And it would address both issues and, you know, or he could work from home and just use that as a desk in there until, I don't know, but there's ways to work around it that doesn't put the county at risk. But, you know, we have a very secure office for him for that, and that addresses his concern, but, at this point though, it is a separate elected office, there's not a lot we can do. I just have concerns that we're opening up a hornet's nest by keeping it there.
And that's what I wanted to be clear on what our options were, because given that there's a downright flat refusal, it'd be a totally different story if this gentleman was willing to work with us to find an interim solution.
I
But we
think-
haven't gotten that.
No, we have not, and it was not just a refusal, it was anyway, so, I don't know what the board wants to do, I still have concerns, we have a member of the public expressed concern, I have a member of the public that had a court case there that was shocked to find out that this person may have been recorded talking to their attorney in that hallway. And they were facing the county attorney on
Well, since
that.
this is related to this other matter that we referred to the AG, I guess I would make a motion that we have our counsel send a communication to the AG and ask them what we should do about this.
You don't have a resolution, so
No, it's a discussive motion, it's just giving direction.
So we can add it for Tuesday. We keep adding, but it should be a quick.
don't do it.
Do you
We
wanna
don't
do,
have a resolution.
you
so
prefer a
don't.
resolution?
Yes, absolutely.
What are your
Okay.
thoughts? I don't care either way.
Resolution queued up, I mean, I don't know what other option we have here.
It's just another week of risk,
I mean,
so,
do we attempt to get it removed in the meantime? I mean, clearly it's been refused.
well, we'd have to direct the sheriff to remove it, and I don't know if I really want that, I don't think we want that inner fight, do we?
I don't want any of these inner fights, but here we are.
We can certainly direct the sheriff to remove it.
What if he refuses?
If
Then
he
we're in the same
refuses,
position.
Then we're in the same position. I'm not asking him to take it, keep it, I just want him to secure it and
And preserve.
preserve any recordings,
Yes.
because if there is a case that this has been recorded and we are sued by a plaintiff or defendant, I wanna make sure we have the records.
So do we wanna send a formal request to Barnes to get that removed and data preserved? And then if no resolution, then we have a resolution on Tuesday to refer this matter? Is that what you'd like?
I'm good with that, I think that's a good way to.
I would be okay with that. Diane, is that a fair, I mean, do you have any other thoughts on how else to address this?
Do you at least agree that it's an issue?
It hasn't been for the last 10 years until just lately.
Well, yeah, I
I'm
don't think
not,
any of us knew about it,
I think,
or we assumed it was part of the network.
I think you're gonna do what you wanna do.
Well, I'm asking you, do you at least see that this potentially puts the county at risk?
I think it does now, cause everything is always brought up and picked and picked and picked apart until it becomes an issue, even if it never was.
Well, if the public has an issue with it, we have to listen to that, right?
Okay, do what you wanna do. Let's move on.
So, since you are in charge of the Security and Safety Committee, did you wanna reach out to Sheriff Barnes to have it removed?
Yes.
And then let the board know the success or not, and, if it's removed, well, great, if not, then, we can put it as a resolution. The other thing too is if the county attorney is amenable to an interim solution, see how we can set up a temporary space for him in the county attorney office that's secured
Or,
until we get that.
or remote access to the cameras, if they can get that done in short order, I mean, that's an option too.
Well, no, I'm working on that already,
Okay.
cause I wanna make sure that that's ready to go. And then coordinate, so in case, I mean, our sheriff said he has it, he just needs to set it up. I wanna make sure that both of them have access to assistance if they need it.
So you kinda need to determine that and what a timeline looks like for that first, because that fills that gap. And then there's no question of that removing that other camera.
I don't know if they can be here in a week,
Okay,
that's why I'm waiting for a response.
okay.
There's some trials going on right now, and I'm concerned.
Okay.
So, cause otherwise we're gonna have to let the judge know not to dismiss people up to the third floor.
Mhm. I'll send a communication today.
Yes, if you could. Okay, anything else? We'll move on to the approved answers and questions submitted by vendors of fiscal. So we talked about this earlier, about the questions, so, to recap, all of us are gonna look over the questions, figure out, what we think we should answer or give direction on. I don't think there's gonna be a lot, and that's gonna be our meeting on Tuesday. So, other than that, and then Ryan gave us a good update on the ordinance review and update. Hopefully they move along better and quicker for that, and we'll, hopefully have an update on that. I do wanna ask them if they're also working on the, data center and battery energy storage systems too, because right now that's a moratorium. And that's pretty much a hot topic. I don't know if you guys are on base camp.
It's a hot topic throughout the whole United States. It is going to be, Ohio is a state that I think will not let them in at all because they are the head of the Great Lakes and the use of water, and they can tell you all they want. There's a very good, it's a librarian. He was the person who created some of this data, but does an amazing job of explaining this, and it's kind of dire. I guess somebody said to me, why don't you just take your pictures off your phone, print them out, throw in a box under your bed like we did for 500 years? I mean, it doesn't, because why does all this have to be stored? And the heat they produce, this is
And the
probably.
noise.
And noise.
And
And then even if they
environmental stuff.
recycle the water, they're not proving that it's even usable, so this is something.
Well, they use so much water, I mean, was it Corpus Christi is running out of water, and then, a city in California, I can't remember which one, it was a big city, it was a tourist.
Well, they don't have water out west anyway, but I believe Union County has done a study. They are not allowing them because they did a study. They have 3 big lakes. They will be drained in 6 years. So that is just something we have to think about, whether all of this is true, yet to be seen. But, you know, you're finding things that now they're saying wind turbines are not worth the environmental.
Imagine that, welcome to the party.
Let's move on.
So, anyway, I'm glad people are finally realizing that. It only took how long to fight those things? Anyway, so hopefully we'll have something more from them soon on things that we can approve, now that they are hopefully getting things worked out with the vendor. Other than that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please vote aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everybody.